What is up, brothers and sisters? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Guys, hopefully you had an awesome weekend. We got a lot of stuff to uncover. There was a gangbusters moment on Friday. We talked about it in Thursday's blog. The Jackson Hole setup, it played out to the T. The market had been setting us up for a few days. I've seen this now so many times. You get the drift lower. It shakes everybody out. And the market was extended anyways it needed, right? And Powell comes in. He does a little bit of a pivot. It's not frankly good news. Basically say economy is slowing down and employment's slowing down a little bit. But people read it as, hey, interest rates got to come. And he did mention, hey, we got to look at things in a little bit different way. And it was off to the races. The big story, which was the IWM, up 4%, and it gave a clue, guys, on on Thursday. While the QQQs was getting fandazzled, of recent, the IWM held into the bone zone, and you had a gap up even on Friday morning, and that was like your telltale sign that something was up, right? And Powell came in. He started speaking, and it was like 2 seconds later, right? Like, poof, you were off to the races, and it was good. So at this point, we have to think that the IWM's got room to 245, 240. We've seen this kind of move before in it, but hey, we're here. We're clearing out basically, 7-8 months worth of levels. I think 240, 245 is in the cards, and then, we'll see what's up. The pivot is the pivot, and we're here, right? So let's get into this. I think there's not too much to read on the indexes beyond, hey, that was a monster run on Friday, and we got to play it. We got to play it. That's all we can do. And there's some good-looking stocks out there, I think, for this coming Monday. So let's come in and take just a quick look. I think NBIS is here. You got a nice, after that earnings move right here, you pulled back into the bone zone. Multiple days, you had a close over the 9 EMA. I was a little bit surprised that it only moved 4% on Friday. But damn, that's just a hot freaking setup. It really is. So I would add that. That's top of the list for tomorrow. RKLB. This is, look, if Powell is making move, this is a $19 billion company, so it's still a mid-cappy type of name, and it's fairly newer company. You got this wedge that it's coming out of. If it can break this 45, 46 zone, I mean, you've got room back up to, that 50s, mid-50s on this. I mean, it's got a great look to it. And guys, my preliminary watch list was very long. So I'm trying to narrow this down for you guys a little bit here. Setting is ready to party now, it seems like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. 6 days of basing here. And you're taking out a hugely long range here. I would have liked the volume to have increased a little bit more on Friday. It was up 13%, which is freaking fantastic, right? That's a great move. I would have liked a little bit more action on the liquidity side of things because it is a little bit of a tricky trader sometimes. But the setup is there. FSLR, after this base breakout, has come back and retested the bone zone. And the breakout spot, I think, and it closed over the 9 EMA. I think that's got a really good look to it. I think probably setting trades a little bit easier because it's just slightly cheaper and they do the same volume. So you won't have to deal with the spread as much. But man, that's a damn good setup, right? If you look here, Affirm's got a nice kind of triple tap breakout here. So first of all, bigger, longer range developing, right? If you're looking at 86 is 82 is a real trigger, a bigger trigger, and then 82, 85. And then now you have a little bit of flag breakout over here. Man, that's a good look to it too. SoFi, if you get a weak open on this one, I think this one is got 100 million shares in volume. It's got the liquidity. Dude, you got to come in on this one. I'm all about this. ETHU, look, this is just for day trades. This is a daily trader, all right, for now. This was incredible range, 42 points on Friday. If Ethereum breaks out, and it's there, it kind of busted back under 4,800, you know, in the last few hours, but any kind of weakness on this tomorrow, I think Ethereum gets bought up, and we want to be a part of this ETHU. 15 million shares of volume, it's got the liquidity, 42 points of range. Guys, if Ethereum starts clearing 5,000, 6,000, wherever, you know, you're going to see this thing. It's just going to be an epic trader. Like, you know, it's a day trader, right? If you want to swing trade Ethereum, you know, I think you go in with ETHA. You know, I have the calls. I got the 3250 calls, and while I was doing this kind of action, I went a month out, so they moved okay on Friday. But, you know, they didn't go 10x like, you know, 10x like the zero DTEs did. You know, even the ones that went like a week out, like you can see here, really some awesome range here. Man, Friday was just an incredible day. But I think Ethereum, look, this 135 million shares in volume. This ETF is liquid. You got to break out on this one. Keep that one right up, you know, right up there. On the swing trading side, you know, if you think UNH goes, I think ELV's got a better our proposition here. Because you got a cleaner level, a little bit cleaner base on this one. Lulu, keep an eye on this one. You know what? With interest rates popping down potentially, you know, maybe you got a rebound on this one. It was $400. You got kind of a little bit of a test here. You got room to 220 before you run into anything. I think this one, if it can clear, this looks like a swing trade. Also, maybe stop under 200. Shopzilla. Look, this was an earnings gap right here. You know, 10 days of just grinding down. You're taking out this trend line. I think that's right up the alley. Win. I'm trying to stay away from, like, you know, the Palantir and the Teslas and try to give you guys a little bit of something different because everybody's staring at the same stuff. But I think, you know, if there's a true shift, then we want to be in some other names, you know, minus like just the same 4 or 5 that everybody stares at, right, all day. So I think that Win's got a potential spot on this one. There was some action in after hours on alts. Watch this 750, you know, on Monday, 750, 775. It starts to clear out. I wouldn't even worry about the chart because it's like, this is the Trump coin, the WLFI. You had a nice little pop on this bad boy after hours. Let's see if this one's got the juice. Man, 550 to 750. It's got more room. I would not be surprised to see this thing into the 10s if small caps, crypto stocks are going, right? So you want to just be a little bit mindful, you know, of that. So guys, that's the list for now. I'll of course, you know, amend this as I sense, you know, what's gapping. And obviously everybody's been asking me about open. There's a level here at 5. Guys, this company's a turd, but who cares, right? You know, honestly, who cares, right? Company's a turd. Is it a 0? Probably not. Is it a 5? Probably not. Is it a 1? Probably closer to 1 than 5. But, dude, if it clears this out, look at the liquidity on this thing. You know, you're coming into the billions of shares on the weekly. That's hot. Hot is hot. Heat is heat. And frankly, you know, when the market gets too crazy, sometimes you want to be in the biggest, smelliest pieces of excrement possible. Guys, I think we could be on to something here. Let's watch this IWM. This is the weekly chart for IWM, right? Let's keep an eye on this. It goes back to... Dude, this goes back quite a bit of ways, right? You clear out this 244. They actually cut some rates. I mean, this thing is going to get juicy. It's been trailing the QQQs, this SPY, for a long time. It's time. You know, it's time for this thing to shred. And that's when we have our fun. So, guys, hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. I love you guys. Peace.